fam. This is Leslie, and it is Wednesday, so it is Wine Lovers Wednesday. And I promised you that we were having amazing guests, and I have to say that we are in the company of wine royalty today. This is Patricia Ortiz, and she is with Tapiz wines, and amazing individual, and you're going to want to know her story. You definitely want to try her wine. So if you don't have one of the wines, crack it open right now, and you're going to really enjoy the conversation. So welcome, Patricia.
Well, thank you. It's great that with this new communication, I can sit here in Mendoza and talk with all of you there.
I know, isn't it? It's just like you were right down
and we can have a glass of wine together, even.
Yes. What do you have in your glass today?
I have Alta collection Cabernet Sauvignon. Yeah, we opened one today, and I say, okay, it's an open bottle. And I mean, here in the winery, I can open everything, but still, and some people ask me, which is what you prefer? And I say, well, I like them all. And today I had this one, and I really was very happy when I tasted. We had a tasting in the afternoon after lunch. So I kept some for myself for tonight.
There you go. There you go. Well, please introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, I'm Patricia Ortiz. I'm the vineyard and winery owner of Fincas Patagónicas, which is a family project that we started with my husband 20 years ago. And my previous life, I was a medical doctor. I always say I start like you know, being in tastings and being in wine clubs and attending all type of events with wine, because we really were wine lover. And I end up like this. I mean, we first bought a vineyard in Mendoza in the Uco Valley. And after some years, we say, okay, just producing grapes is not fun enough when you like wine. So we decided to start producing our own wine. We started with a project, which is the Zolo winery, where I'm sitting right now. And for us, our philosophy is that everything starts in the vineyard. So in order to assure the quality and the consistency year after year, it's very important that you have your state-grown vineyards. So we start buying land in the key areas of Argentina. Today we have 9 estates, one in Salta, very north of Argentina, in Cafayate. Then we have 7 estates in Mendoza, and we have one in Patagonia. And the company was growing, we were successful. And so we built a second winery in Mendoza, which is the Tapiz winery in the Uco Valley. And then we opened a new winery in Patagonia. We are the only winery on the coast in Patagonia. And and we have, we age some of our wine under the ocean. We have underwater cages where we age the wine, which is a lot of fun.
Okay, so there's so much to unpack, right? in that. So let's get to, you were a physician.
Yeah, I was. My previous life.
And in a previous life. And I always say this to people, and that's why I love hearing about people's wine story, because people in the wine world, either from the crib, they start in wine, or there are people like you and myself who had a different path, but had this calling to wine and said, I'm going to leave that path behind and go into wine. But I think it's interesting that you were a physician, and everything that I've read about you and your vineyard and the vineyards and your philosophy is sustainability. So I think that seed of nurturing and health and getting the best out of people carried you through into the wine world. Are the parallels similar there?
Yes, well, and I believe in organic things. I believe in sustainability. Everything that is healthy, I believe. And even I'm running a program that is wine in moderation. So I'm teaching people that drinking wine every day, moderate drinking, is really good for your health, better than not drinking the whole week and then having a whole bottle on Friday night. So it's much better. Every night you get a glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine, pairing with your food, really enjoying the wine, not just drinking because you are thirsty. And so I think today we have to find a healthy way of living, and wine has to be part of it. And sustainability is part of our lives too, because we have to care about, not only ourselves, but also about, the land, the community, the entire world. So we believe that is part of our philosophy in the winery. We are sustainable practices. We have, certified global gap, good manufacturing practices, human resource practices, and now it's a new sustainability sign that we are following in all of our vineyards and in the wineries in order to get that stamp too. It's just paperwork that we have to put together now, and but we think it's really the way to work and the way to be. So that's part of us.
But you have been the drug major for sustainability in Mendoza. So not just for your vineyards, but for the region.
Yes, well, we start working a lot with the communities. In my background, I'm also a social psychologist, and I mean, the story that we live in Buenos Aires, and so I commute to Mendoza, and I stay in Mendoza the whole week, and then I fly back to Buenos Aires, and I have a lot of time when I'm in Mendoza, because after I finish my work, it's not that I'm going home, so I have time to think and to do other things, which is great. Sometimes in the winery, they tell me, okay, we have to find you something else to do because I come back with more and more ideas. So I believe that working in the community where you are doing your work, you're making your money is really something very important to bring that back and to give back to that community. So we started many years ago a program that is a program called the Weaver, because part of our philosophy in the company is, and our mission is to value all the cultural values in the area where we are. And Argentina is a country, of immigration. We got a lot of Spanish immigration. We brought food, and Italian immigration, and English immigration. And today, and in this area, we have Bolivian immigration. And these people, it's a huge place for Bolivians. They are not working in the vineyards, but this is also a big area for garlic and for tomatoes. So these people work in the fields. We have, next to the vineyards, we may have fields with garlics, for example, in Mendoza. And and these people, the culture that they have is really about weaving, They have the llamas, the wool, and they really do very nice things, but they don't have that here. So we thought that it's very nice if the women's, it's a program that I do with women, that they are working in the fields the whole day and they have nothing that they can show for themselves to improve, to feel better. So they have that type of art, and it's good that they can give them to the children too. So it's a program that I want that the children inherit from the mothers the art of weaving, and that is not getting lost because they are far away from where they belong. And it's something that they can live to the community instead of being, just the whole day getting the garlic out of the soil. So we put that plan together, and we brought llamas. We have more than 40 llamas now here in the winery running around.
Oh my goodness.
They're very funny and very nice. And so they get the wool, they do all this. I always tell them this is not a work for you. They get paid. I mean, everything that we sell everything in our shop here. And then they get that money, they get back. But the idea is for them to get, I always think the only work that they do is in the land bending, and they need to get something to feel better as themselves.
Right.
If they
Right.
weave, they can show. It's like bringing them up. So this is one of the programs that we are running here and was really a very nice program. And then the local government was interested, and we set up. I'm also a board member of Junior Achievement, which we help the different schools in the different areas where we have our um, vineyards, that the children, they continues going to school, that they don't drop off. And so what we have been doing with these mothers and junior achievement is just trying to learn them how to be entrepreneurs, that they can in the
Mhm.
future, they learn here to do something, and they learn how they can manage, and maybe in the future they can open their own small business doing weaving or doing things like that. So it's I think it's really very important to get and to know your community and the people around you,
Yeah.
nourish them, because it's really important. So we work on that, and then we have different projects in the different areas depending on what each area bring us, because
Mhm.
all of the areas where we are totally different. From Cafayate to Patagonia, it's like we crossed the whole Argentina with different realities. So we work differently in each of them.
That's incredible. And it's great that you start with the younger kids. And so
Yes,
you build that generational wealth, you build that independence and that entrepreneurial spirit that isn't even, in the United States and often in the Black community, that it isn't, I'm not going to say it's not encouraged, but it's not known about. And so once
yeah.
you start having those conversations at the dinner table, it is encouraged more, and to pursue, and you become sustainable on yourself. You are able to rely on yourself and build wealth within your own family. I think that's amazing. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's important, and you have to put that seed in the
Mm-hmm.
in, and always learn that you have to. I always say you have to dream, and but it's not only dreaming. Then you have to work to make your dream come true, and to be perseverance and hardworking, and then things will come. I mean, it's not just that you need to dream. You have to follow, and there you have to study in order to do the right things. And it's a very nice program that we have with Junior Achievement, and we teach. And even it's nice because some of the people working in the winery are the one that we go into schools. So I teach in one school, the winemaker teach in another school, and it's like we get together with those children and encourage them to continue studying, because the drop off in some of the areas is really big, and really what they need is just a little push, and
Mm-hmm.
to see why they have to continue studying. So it's really nice for us too when we see all that result. It's
Yeah.
great.
Have you seen an increase in the graduation rate or the retention rate in schools because of this?
Yes, when we talk to the teachers, they see that, and they see, it's very funny because when we start that, the first day is like, these are like teenagers, they don't even hear at you. They are, with the iPads, and it's like, okay. And after the second class, they start looking and say, well, something is happening here.
Right. Uh-huh.
And you can see them that they start, and it's a very nice program, built very well built in order to make them to get attention and to understand many things. So it's really nice. And of course, in the schools, they ask us year after year to come back because they see results. So they feel that it's very important that we can do that.
That is awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you about one of your vineyards is at the top or near the top of the Andes Mountains.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Where the
so
black tears is.
yes. Okay, what made you decide to plant there? Like, can you tell us about the climate and the terroir there, that it is ideal conditions because you're producing amazing wines from that area?
Yeah, and this is now it's a new IG in Mendoza, which is San Paulo IG. It has built a geographical indication.
Mm-hmm.
That area is very high. We are in the highest where you can produce, and you can get mature, the grapes, because the cycle, we have to find grapes that have a short cycle, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise they will not finish. Some years we finish with snow. I mean, the day or we are finishing the harvest and it starts snowing. So it's really, we have to hurry up in order to finish, because it's much shorter the time there than down here. But it's a very nice property. It's a huge property. It's around 800 acres. So it's a river crossing that property. And I mean, the property ends in that river, and next to the river is Gualtajari, which is another geographical indication here in Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
So these are our neighbors. So as we are so big in the same property, you can find different profiles. We see that close to the river, we get more sandy first, and then the big rocks with calcareous deposits. And then you go more in the middle and you see difference. So we have been doing a study now this year, doing like, I don't know in English the name, calicata, like holes,
Uh-huh.
and
Mm-hmm.
studying the composition of the soil.
Okay.
And that helped us to understand why some of the wines from that particular place taste different. For example, Black Tears is one of the examples. We have Black Tears in one of the lots. We have total traceability when we work. And the winemaker, the first year, he told me, look, this is different from the rest. So we went there and say, okay, this year, this tank is different from the rest of the Malbec. Next year, the same thing happened. And we were looking, at the plants and the next lot plants, and they were the same, but the expression of one was totally different. Today, with those studies, we can understand how different the soil is from one part to the other one. It's like patches of different soil in that property.
So,
And that's very, for us, very important to plant more, knowing the expression of each
right.
soil in the wines. And behind the mountains, we have the sanity is very, very good, because at night we get really cool nights, and there
Mm-hmm.
is it's a wind coming down every night going to the valley, and then at the morning that air, it's heated up and goes back up. So at noontime we always have a little bit wind, because it's the air coming back
Yeah.
up,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes that the grapes are always dry. So we don't have mildew, we don't have anything, because they're really very dry day long, with that difference, of air coming down and up. And of course, the day and night temperature are really very extreme. So you get deep colors, thick skins, and
Yeah, I want to show everyone. This is the Black Tears that we're referring to, and I'll show the bottle again. But I mean, it's inky black. We have a grape in Maryland that thick skins, Chamberson. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one. And it produces that really inky black color, but it doesn't have the body that
well, this is a Malbec. It's a
yes.
really, it's a real very nice Malbec. We has layers and layers, of structure. And again, the skin are thick, because one is because of the sun. We also have a lot of sun up there, really very long sunny days.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's like, the grape is protecting the seed. So skins are getting bigger and bigger, and
Mm-hmm.
all the colors and polyphenols, everything is inside those skins. So when we have that skin contact, we extract all that color, and of course aromas and everything coming from those big skins. So when you taste that Malbec, you have all those aromas just coming out, you know, and even up in there in the mountains, what we can see is like you get some flowers, you can get violets in your nose. It's
Mm-hmm.
something very typical of that mountain area.
This is so layered. I opened it maybe a half an hour ago, and just in that short time, I mean, you just like it's it's like a box of Skittles candy. Like
Yeah.
each time you're like, oh, this is a new flavor. I love this
Yeah, it's
flavor.
coming and coming and coming. It's a very nice wine. We start producing it in the 206, so we have already a lot of vintage.
Mm-hmm.
And many people know us because of that wine. I say, okay, I'm Tapiz, and they just tell me, Black Tears. It's like they get together. So it was the top of the line for many, many, many years. Now we put two other tops on the line, which are not Malbecs. This is still our top of the line Malbec. We have a Merlot and now a Cabernet Franc.
Oh, okay.
That and then 10 years ago we started working with Jean-Claude Berrouet from Chateau Petrus. He's our
Yes.
consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And when he started working with us, I told him, look, what I need is that all my wines have the elegance of a French wine. I like that finesse, that elegance in the wines. I don't want to lose the identity of the Argentinian wines, but I need to achieve that elegance. And I think
Yes.
you can do it. And I told him, but everything starts in the vineyard for us and finish in the bottle. So he told me, okay, perfect. My son may come to work the vineyard because he's in charge of the vineyards, and I can do the consultancy in the wineries in order to achieve that. And then I say, okay, but I want to have exclusivity in Argentina. I don't want that you are consulting, all wineries. He told me, no, I'm not interested in anything of that. And everybody was like here in Argentina saying, wow, this guy is coming to do something here. And then he told me, we are good friends now. He's 10 years with us already. He told me, what I wanted to do was my wine in Argentina. I wanted to produce my Merlot in Argentina. So they call it the Petrus of the Andes because he produced his Merlot in San Pablo, in that vineyard. And he told me, it's going to be your wine, but I want to see what I can achieve here. So he produced that Merlot. The first vintage was the 12, and it's outstanding wine. Really break the way of the Argentinian wines said by many winemakers. Very prestigious winemaker in Argentina say, okay, we know how far we can go after having this wine. And then this year we released a Cabernet Franc. He was like, okay, yes, I want to do something more. I like it. I'm going to do something more. So, and really, these are two exceptional wines that we have. Very, very elegant. He even put these wines in Pomerol in blind tastings. And people don't, and he tells them, look, here's a wine from Argentina, and people cannot discover which one it is.
It is, I mean,
other winemakers in Pomerol, they get like, they
that's
don't pick
amazing.
It. Yeah. So
it's if it's a 10th as good as this, it's an amazing wine.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, I mean, when we as a family, we started this business because we love good wine. So for us was no sense not doing the best. I mean, it's like we don't produce entry levels. We built the second winery because we didn't want to enlarge the winery, the first winery, because we wanted to work more boutique, and we didn't want that, to be too big, that the work was done more industrial. We wanted to keep that, small size, that people are more dedicated, things are more handcrafted, more, in mind. Otherwise, for us, it's no sense to make to have this business. I mean,
how do you maintain that? How do you maintain? Because what Patricia here is being very modest, but you have 3 vineyards. You have 3 labels. You have multiple vineyards, but you have 3 vineyards, and then you have a very important job outside of that in the wine industry. And sometimes it can become very commercial when you have that large of a footprint, but you made this conscious decision to maintain that boutique feel with your winery. How do you go about doing that?
Well, it's like we think, okay, I don't want to produce like 2 million cases. It's not my goal. My goal is to produce great wines And sometimes, I mean, I could sell more. I could sell more if I have more wine, but I say, okay, this is what I want to have, and we go up in quality. That's my idea, not in quantity, but in quality. Always trying to be better and achieving more things and doing different things. For example, going to Patagonia, we're the first winery in the coastal Patagonia. Most of the wineries in Patagonia are in the middle or in the mountains in Patagonia. We went all the way to the ocean because we believe in Argentina there were no coastal vineyards. And, you know, around the world, the vineyards are coastal, has the coastal influence.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that place in Patagonia is like a desert. The soil was perfect for the grapes. And we have a big river that there are channels built that we can use that water to irrigate the vineyards. So it was perfect setting to do that. We started with a small place, I mean, and trying to see what we achieve. And, you know, the first vintage that we released, we didn't release it. We just submitted to journalists, and they were all like amazed. They say, well, this is the right place in Patagonia. Finally we got. And so then I'm finishing now. I mean, the winery was finished last vintage, last harvest. And now I'm finishing, you know, the tasting room and all those more, you know, fun things around the winery. But it's a small winery. It's 300,000 liters now. We can enlarge it. We can double the size. It's thought to be double. But I think that's going to be the number. I don't want to be bigger there either. And it's like a research. And then we are working all this underwater aging, which is very interesting.
So please talk about that, because that is, my brother is a scuba diver.
Well, then he has to come.
I know.
We're going to have a lot of fun.
And he, and I have a lot of wine, probably not as much as wine. And where we live is right off of the Potomac that runs behind here. And he's like, well, maybe we could store the wine in the Potomac. And I'm like, no, we're not.
Well, if you see my pictures, I'm sure.
I'm not giving him any ideas. So how did you decide? Why did you decide to start doing that?
Well, you know, there are stories around the world that they found wrecked ships and the wine was perfect and things like that. And they say, okay, why we don't try? And having the ocean next to us, let's do it. So they asked me, you know, to do a lot of studies for the impact. So we got together with a guy that is scientific, that he was performing, you know, all those studies for impact, that, you know, the glass and the wax on the cork and whatever is not contaminating anything. And he really liked the idea of that. So with the university, they are studying the currents, you know, the currents, because of everything that is clink in the bottles. You know, they found different things like oysters, small oysters, and things that get on the bottle. They are all stink on them, because after 6 months, you get the bottle with everything on it. And so they are studying the current. So it's very interesting, because I have the students that are studying, and they send me like 10 pages, you know, of research with a bottle and circling something and telling me the whole story of that and how the current came and the temperature and why that happened and things like that. So it was really, I found, is much more than just putting a bottle. It's like a whole community is now engaged. Right. And my divers are, you know, it's very funny, because I have a lot of volunteer divers. Each time it's like a party when we do that. And I get the chef from one restaurant, local restaurant, he's a diver. That day, he's not cooking, he's with us. And everybody's bringing bottles down, because it's not that we submerge the cages. The cages are already under the ocean. It's 10 meters and 15 meters deep.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, yeah.
So they have to go with bags and fill the cages. So they go back and forth. It's like a one-day work to bring them all down. Wow. And so the whole community is part of that. It's like, well, today's the day that it's happening. So it's a really fun project. And again, I like to have those small projects instead of having, and being in making numbers the whole day. It's not that we are not making, in this
Right.
world you have to make numbers the whole day, but but it's in a different scale, which I like.
It's well, one thing, you save on space. you don't have to worry about building out. You have space there. You have natural space, so
Yes,
that works. And I'm quite
we
sure
build cages. Otherwise, they may be ending up in Africa. So
because of the current. Yes.
Yeah, with the current they may go. No, we have stainless steel cages that they are hooked on the ocean. They are down in the ocean, and so inside them is where all the wine goes in, so we don't lose it. And the divers, they know perfect which parts, because at the beginning they said, okay, they fear that some may come like a pirate and get the bottles.
I was going to ask you that. Like, what
that was the
system
concern.
do you have?
So nobody knows more than them where they are. So it's funny, yeah.
That is, I was gonna ask you, like, how do you secure that? But
no, yeah, they are closed. They are locked. They are like locked, and yeah, they have some type of lock that they do it. They close, and they know where it is. Ocean is huge, so you have to really know where. They know perfect where they have it. I wouldn't find them.
So another one of your wines that I don't have with me today that is super popular, and we talk about it all the time, is your Osmosis wine.
Yes. Here I have some bottles of the Osmosis.
Oh, do you? Okay, yes.
Here we have the two.
Oh, what's the second one? So we have the Sauvignon Blanc, but we don't have the other one.
This is the Sauvignon Blanc. This is a Sauvignon Blanc. I took it in the winery. This is a mock that we done. We had so many problems with the bottles last year. There were a shortage of bottles of glass around the world.
Okay. I did not know this.
Yeah, around the world there was a shortage of glass, and so there was a problem to get bottles. Okay. And in Argentina, we have two bottle companies, and one had a fire. In top of the problem, they had a fire. So it's like there were no bottles at all. Okay. So now we import from China the clear bottles, but there were no clear bottles. Okay. So when there were no clear bottles and we had to fill them, we were mocking to see how it happened if we put the Sauvignon Blanc in a green bottle. So this was a mock of a green bottle with the Sauvignon Blanc. Then we got bottles from China, so we get the clear ones.
Clear bottles. Those are the ones that we have.
But it was one point that we were seeing, for example, in Tapiz, you may see the Sauvignon Blanc, and in Wapisa, it's also for that period of the year, will be in a green bottle. Okay. Then we're coming back to the clear. So I was talking to some reps from the States today, and they told me, I was asking them about the rosé bottles because they are so fancy, very nice. And I say, well, what's the trend on that? And they told me, look, after the shortage of bottles, we have seen everything. It's like, forget about fancy. People were putting the wine where they could. That was the case. So I say, okay, well, we hope that things are, getting back to normal.
Now I know that you had to do your harvest in 2020 at the height of COVID.
Yes, it was really a hard work because it was just at the beginning, so nobody know how to work. So, right. But we got from the government, like a special permit because it was harvest time. And there was a work that's been outside, and then in the wineries, nobody else was working. Only the workers, making the wine. Everybody else was doing home office, so that we don't have many people in the winery. And so we could go and had really a good harvest. I mean, At the beginning was like a little bit, people didn't know, and to circulate you have to have a permit, and so our human resource were just typing and typing and typing and doing all the permits for everybody. And then a week later they changed the permit, so they have to again. And because they were stopped on the road, you were not allowed to be in the road unless you had a permit to go to what they call essential work. So the wine was essential. So we were really happy, and that they understood that it's not that we could left the vineyards, with all the grapes and lose the whole harvest.
Exactly.
And they understood, the local government is, Mendoza is about wine. So they understand the business. And so we found a way in order to work without exposing our people to any hazards. So, and there were no problem. I mean, all the wineries worked together. Worked and see, really things worked. And then for the second year, that still the COVID was there, was much easier because we already knew how, to do and to manage the whole situation. So it was not bad.
That's exceptional. So I know at one of your wineries, you have a spa there. Is the spa up and running now?
Yes, it's open. We have a small hotel, a boutique hotel in one of the properties. And there we have a really fun spa where the idea that the wine lovers, they come and enjoy, the wine, and they can even work with us. We offer them, working in the vineyards because we have a very nice vineyard around. And we have a program called Following the Leader, because our workers, they don't speak English. So they show them, with mimica what they have to do, the work, so people follow them. So they may prune in this time of the year. We are pruning, so our guests can come and prune with them. And then depending on the time of the year, you can be harvesting or you can be dieting after the pruning. So every night they have a tasting, and we tell them what is the work that is being done at this time of the year in the vineyard. Because many people, they think wine is this only the wine. And it's good that they understand how much and how intense the work in a vineyard is. It's year round, every day somebody is doing something in the vineyard. So some people don't know that, how intense the work is. And so when they come and they are part of that, they really love the whole thing, and they understand more, and then they enjoy more the wine too.
Because they work for it.
Yeah.
They work for it. I get a crack out of people who say, oh, when I retire, I'm going to open a vineyard. And I'm like, that's not a retirement plan.
Exactly. I hear that all the time, and I say, you don't know what you are thinking.
That is
go to a nice hotel in a vineyard and enjoy the vineyard.
Just enjoy it. And I said, but if you want a good workout, a good lower body quad butt workout, work a harvest, and you will
realize.
Yes, you will tighten those quads up.
No, it's a hard work, the vineyard, and also, it's nature. So it's always that you do everything right. We have hail, for example, in Mendoza. I have nets in my vineyards to prevent from the hail. But, it's so... Sometimes it's a hail, 15 minutes hail, and you go out before harvest, and everything, you go in the roads, and it's look like winter. There's no one leaf. And in 15 minutes, everything has been ruined, or we may have frost, or we may have... So it's like nature also tells you that it's not... You can do a lot of things, but then at the end, you have to wait that nature also follows what you need to be. And so it's like you feel you are small at the end, because it's not only your work.
Do you produce ice wine because you may have a sudden frost at all, or do you just have to drop the grapes?
No, we 1 year we produce some, and but there is no market for that wine in Argentina. and
Oh,
in the world
okay.
from Argentina, that type. So
Mhm.
it's like we made it 1 year. It was fabulous for us. We drank it all. Was great. But then I say, okay, we have like in the winery we have like a small what I call the playground where we can produce new things, different things. It's like most of them are for ourselves. It's like because then you have to look commercial, what the market is demanding, what the market
Mhm.
looks from Argentina. You know, Argentina was like Malbec for everybody,
Yes. Yeah.
and now people are discovering that Argentina has great Chardonnays and great Cabernets, and that's
Mhm.
because there was a shortage of Chardonnay and Cabernet because of the fires in California and Australia and the climate in France. So then
Mhm.
we had the opportunity because there was a bigger demand, so they were looking for South American Chardonnays and Cabernets, and we had the opportunity to show them and to show how good they are. And so now we have more diversity. But then, if you start producing other things, for example, Torrontés, it's really hard to push to the market.
It's one of
Even
my favorite.
yeah,
It's
I love
it's
Torrontés, but people when they don't know the grape, it's like they are not. I mean, they have to try the wine, then they get hooked, and they still buy it.
yes. Yes.
But
Yeah.
if
And
they
sometimes I
don't,
don't tell them what it is. I
exactly,
know I
and
shouldn't do that, but sometimes I don't tell them, and then they're trying to figure it out because it's so unique. It's the
yeah,
nose is
it's
so
like
deceptive
nose
on it.
like a Gewürztraminer, but then it's a dry
Yes.
wine. It's
Yes.
like a mix of both,
Mhm.
and it's a perfect wine pairing with spicy foods.
Yes.
Thai, Indian. It's a great food, great wine for that type of food. I really enjoy to have a glass of that one.
Oh my
but
goodness. Yeah.
but it's hard to sell for people. They don't even know how to pronounce it. The name is already hard, Torrontés. It's not easy word, and then you don't know what to expect. So if you don't try it before, it's like you are not buying it. So
Yeah.
it's harder to sell those type of wines.
Well, I love it. So you can just send it to me.
Okay.
You can
Well,
just
we
send it to me.
produce we produce Torrontés in a champenoise method, a sparkling Torrontés traditional method.
Do you really?
Yes, with
Okay, I'm gonna have to
Torrontés
talk to our
grape, and
distributor.
yeah,
Yes.
it's 14 months on lease resting, and then it's a very interesting experience to have
Oh,
that
I'm
sparkling
gonna have to check it
Torrontés.
out.
Yeah,
I want to have a conversation with my distributor about the Merlot to
yeah,
see if they have that here because I am.
it's really very nice. That's a very very nice Merlot, another experience. And you drink the Merlot done by him, but here it's a nice story.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
produced that Merlot in Petrus, and then he produced the same Merlot in Mendoza.
I'll have to ask. So I have one more question for you,
Yes.
and I am assuming, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but the wine industry in Argentina for a long time was male dominated.
It is still
And
still very man dominated, I can tell you.
and do you see more women entering the winemaking and ownership in Argentina?
Well, there are some in the industry. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm running the chamber. I'm the
Yes.
president of the chamber for the last two periods, and I'm the only woman. It's so fun that they elect me. I say, well, I guess yesterday I received a prize in Argentina as Woman of the World, and one of the things
Congratulations.
thank you. And one of the things they asked me was why, and I say, look, in this industry, men are very competitive, and some they have big egos. The ego is, big in this
Mhm.
industry. All of them, so they really were fighting. I mean, having now a woman, they don't compete with me, so it's easier for them. It's much easier to have a woman running them than having a man.
Mm,
They
mhm,
don't need to
mhm.
compete, so it's fun. and we really work a lot. It was a difficult time because I got pandemia, and then I got all this, economic crisis that in
Yes.
Argentina is
Mm-hmm.
like not easy to work with. But we really are. I'm trying to get more women into the business. In my company, we are half of the key positions are women's, and
Excellent.
a third of the total workers, we have 151 workers, a third are women.
Mm-hmm.
So really what I like is to give the opportunity, because I believe in in that working together, you get much better results.
I agree.
And the way that you look at the things is different. I think that we
Mm-hmm.
can complement together, and I really like that. And so I try that there are more people, and I'm working to get more women. There are more winemakers, women, young girls, and I always encourage them to stay online together, work together, make
Mm-hmm.
like groups that you can help yourself to feel stronger, not that you are alone. You get your another partner in another winery that is also a
Right.
woman. So
Mm-hmm.
start doing that, and I'm trying with the mans. We have some programs that in order they don't like at all when I start working talking about those things. It's like they look and say, "Oh, again." But I know that slowly and slowly and slowly you have to bring that into them. That is important that they open the industry to more women.
Yes. And
And
their daughters. Their,
yeah,
their their daughters, like you're seeing a lot of women in Europe who are
yeah,
taking over because by birth there were no sons or what have you. And they're just kicking butt over there. And hopefully they will see that and be open-minded and see that, again, this is their legacy that's living on.
yeah. Yeah, no, I think that next generation will be
Mm-hmm.
better than this one. This one is making an effort, and I see the next one is going to be much easier. And I can see with my children, they are much more open, and with everything. And I mean, what we have here is like the CV is a blind CV. When we hire
Mm-hmm.
somebody,
Mm-hmm.
when the first CV, we don't know if it's a woman or a man, what age they are. We just look the qualification, and then when you get the interview, then you know that. But I don't want that. The first is like you say, okay, I don't want this is a woman.
Right, right,
I
right.
want that the first I know somebody is because of the qualification, and then I may see the people, and that works, and so that's why we get many women working here in the winery.
That is great. I have to say, I love the artwork behind you. I hear you're a passionate collector. Is that part of your collection?
Yes, this is from a very well-known artist here in Mendoza,
Mm-hmm.
and I have two pieces of him, one upstairs and one downstairs. There are women picking, both of them,
Mm-hmm.
and really, I really like. He passed away like a year ago, something like that. The
Mm.
governor has when you go to the governor's house, they have from this same artist pick in when you at the
Ah,
entrance.
okay.
He's
Mm-hmm.
a very well-known guy, and I really like a lot all the expression and he's like was a funny painter, and expressing, the people here. It's like if I can move. He's the picker.
Oh, it's beautiful.
He's
Yes.
picking. It's a woman picking wines.
She's
Yeah.
probably like, oh my God, not another one. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate everything that you do. It was truly an honor
No,
chatting
Leslie, it
with
was
you.
my pleasure to talk to you, and it's a pleasure. I mean, and today with the technology, we can be far away in the world, and we can have a nice talk together. So it's really nice that we can use that.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will have some chats with my distributors tomorrow to find that Merlot.
Okay, sure. And then you have to come and drink it over. I always tell people
Yes. Yes.
we are not so far away. It's just an overnight flight, and you are here.
How long is the flight?
It's overnight.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad at
Because
all.
you sleep, and
You
you
sleep,
and
you
you wake
come
up the
up,
next
and
day.
you are in Argentina, and we are really today no expensive at all. So it's the perfect time to come, and it's chill. It's winter, but it's not so chill. So even if you are too hot there, you can come and cool a little bit off in Argentina.
We'll have to do that.
Yes, sure.
We'll have to do that. Thank you so much. And
Okay,
thank you, Facebook family and Shades of Vino family, for tuning in with us. Really appreciate it. And you have to check out, the lighting is, I'm so bad at this. There we go.
Yeah, the black tears.
Let's get a little closer to there we go.
Yes.
You have to try it. And this is one of those wines that you can hold onto it and age it for a while, and it's just going to get better in the bottle.
Yeah. For sure.
Definitely, yes, it's definitely going to get better.
Yeah.
Take care, family. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.